Myself, Priyanka Dikshit, working as Assistant Professor at School of Pharmacy, Babu Banarsi Das University, Lucknow. I am going to present on the topic antiarrhythmic agents or drugs. Cardiac arrhythmia definition. A normal resting heart rate for adults ranges from 60 to 100 beats per minute. Cardiac arrhythmia refers to a group of conditions that causes the heart to beat irregular, either too slowly or too quickly. There are several categories of arrhythmia, including bradycardia or slow heartbeat, and tachycardia or a fast heartbeat. Irregular heartbeat known as flutter or fibrillation. Bradycardia means when heart rate is slow, that is less than 60 beats per minute. And tachycardia means when heart rate is fast, that is more than 100 beats per minute. Signs of heart arrhythmia: tachycardia, bradycardia, fainting, confusion, profuse sweating, shortness of breath, and dizziness. What are the causes of arrhythmia? Causes of arrhythmia are coronary artery disease, high blood pressure, changes in heart muscle or cardiomyopathy, valve disorders, electrolytic imbalances in the blood, such as that of imbalance of sodium and potassium ion in the blood, injury from a heart attack, healing process after heart surgery, other medical conditions, hypertension, and taking excessive stress. The cardiac conduction system. The cardiac conduction system is a group of specialized cardiac muscle cells that are located in the walls of the heart and that send signals to the heart muscle, causing them to contract. The main components of the cardiac conduction system are the SA node, AV node, bundle of His or AV bundle branches, and Purkinje fibers. The SA node is located in the upper part of the right atrium and serves as a natural pacemaker. These nodal cells manifest spontaneous depolarizations and are responsible for generating the normal cardiac rhythm such as heart rate, and therefore they can also be called as intrinsic or automatic. Normal excitation originates from the SA node and then propagates through both atria, causing atrial depolarization or contraction of the atria. Impulse then travels to the AV node and passes through the bundle of His or AV bundle and then to the Purkinje fiber, which makes up the left and right bundle branches, leading to the ventricular contraction. Cardiac action potential and its phases. Normal resting membrane potential is minus 90 millivolt. Threshold potential ranges from minus 70 to minus 80 millivolt. Now first comes is the phase 0 phase. Phase 0 phase is called as rapid depolarization phase. During this phase there occurs opening of sodium channel. This opening of sodium channel causes inward flow of or influx of sodium ions inside the cell. This influx of sodium ions inside the cell causes the membrane potential to reach from minus 80 millivolt to plus 20 millivolt. Next comes phase 1 phase. Phase 1 phase is called as partial repolarization phase. During this phase, the sodium channels are inactivated or sodium channels closes and potassium channels open. Due to the opening of potassium channel, there occurs outflux of potassium ions and the membrane potential reaches from plus 20 millivolt to plus 10 millivolts. Now in the phase 2 is called as plateau phase. During the plateau phase, calcium channel opens as well as potassium channels opens. Due to the opening of calcium and potassium channels, from the calcium channels there occurs inward flow of calcium ion inside the cell, and from the potassium channel there occurs outflow of two potassium ions outside the cell, due to which the membrane potential reaches a plateau phase. Next comes phase 3. Phase 3 is called as repolarization phase. During the repolarization phase, calcium channel closes whereas the potassium channel remains open. Due to the opening of potassium channel, there occurs outflow of the potassium ions and the membrane potential reaches up to minus 80 millivolt. During phase 4, the membrane potential reaches again the resting membrane potential of minus 90 millivolt due to the opening of potassium channel that causes the outward flow of potassium ions and causes membrane potential to reach minus 90 millivolt, that is the resting membrane potential. Pathophysiology of cardiac arrhythmia. Pathophysiology of cardiac arrhythmia. Cardiac arrhythmia arises due to the disorder of impulse formation, due to the disorder of impulse conduction, or combination of both. Disorder of impulse formation is found due to automaticity, due to triggered activity. Triggered activity includes early after depolarizations and delayed after depolarization. Disorder of impulse conduction includes impulse block and re-entry phenomenon. Abnormal automaticity. Automaticity is a property of a SA node to generate the impulse spontaneously without the need of prior stimulation. The SA node contains pacemaker cells that have spontaneous firing capacity. This is called as normal automaticity. Abnormal automaticity occurs when other cells such as AV node bundle of his Purkinje fibers called as ectopic pacemakers start firing spontaneously, resulting in premature heartbeats. All cardiac cells have spontaneous firing capacity, but only at a very slow heart rate. During a normal heart rate, they will never have the chance to show off their firing capacity. Triggered activity. During triggered activity, heart cells contract twice, although they only have been activated once. This is often by so-called after depolarizations and includes early or delayed after depolarizations. This is caused by electrical instability in the myocardial cell membrane. Early after depolarization occurs before achieving full repolarization of phase 3, whereas delayed after repolarization occurs after full repolarization of a membrane. A secondary deflection occurs and initiates a premature beat. Re-entry. Re-entry or circus movement is a multicellular mechanism of arrhythmia. Important criteria for the development of re-entry are a circular pathway with an area in this circle of unidirectional block and a trigger to induce the re-entry movement. Re-entry can arise when an impulse enters the circuit, follows the circular path, and is conducted through an unidirectional or slow conducting pathway. While the signal is in this pathway, the surrounding myocardium repolarizes. If the surrounding myocardium has recovered from the refractory state, the impulse that exits the area of unidirectional block can reactivate this recovered myocardium. This process can repeat itself and thus forms the basis of re-entry tachycardia. Slow conduction or a short refractory period facilitates re-entry. Antiarrhythmic agents. Antiarrhythmic drugs are used to prevent or suppress recurrent or abnormal rhythms of the heart. They are used to restore sinus rhythm in patients with cardiac arrhythmias. Antiarrhythmic agents are also known as cardiac dysrhythmia medications, and they are mainly used in atrial fibrillation, atrial flutter, ventricular tachycardia, and ventricular fibrillation. Classification of antiarrhythmic agents. Antiarrhythmic agents can be broadly classified into sodium channel blockers, beta-adrenergic blockers, potassium channel blockers, and calcium channel blockers. Further, sodium channel blockers are classified into class 1A, class 1B and class 1C. Sodium channel blockers under the class of class 1A. The drugs belonging to class 1A sodium channel blockers are quinidine, procainamide, and disopyramide. The structures of the drug are shown in the figure. Sodium channel blockers class 2B. The drugs coming under the class 2B sodium channel blockers are lignocaine, phenytoin, and procainamide. Sodium channel blockers class 3B. The drugs coming under the class 3B sodium channel blockers are flecainamide and propafenone. Beta blockers. The drugs coming under the class of beta blockers are propranolol, atenolol, and esmolol. Potassium channel blockers. The drugs coming under the class of potassium channel blockers are amiodarone and sotalol. Mechanism of action of antiarrhythmic agents. Sodium channel blockers. Sodium channel blockers class 1A act by blocking sodium channel and by prolonging the action potential. Sodium channel blockers class 1B act by blocking the sodium channel and by shortening the action potential. And sodium channel blocker class 1C act by blocking sodium channel with no effect on action potential. The figures of class 1A, class 1B and class 1C drugs are given. This is the figure for class 1A sodium channel blockers. They are mainly acting by prolonging the action potential. This is the figure for class 1B sodium channel blocker, and they are mainly acting by shortening or by decreasing the action potential. And this is the class C drugs belonging to the sodium channel blocker class with no effect on action potential. Mechanism of action of class 1A antiarrhythmic drugs. These agents are also known as membrane stabilizing agents. The drugs coming under this class are quinidine, procainamide, and disopyramide. These drugs act by binding with open and inactivated state of sodium channels and preventing the sodium influx, thus slowing the rapid upstroke or rapid depolarization during phase 0. They do not change or alter the resting membrane potential. They work as local anesthetic at higher concentration by blocking the nerve conduction. They also act by increasing the refractory period. Refractory period is the time gap between the opening and closing of the channel. They also act by blocking phase 1 of partial repolarization by binding with potassium channel and inhibiting their outflux. This results in the suppression of automaticity in ectopic pacemakers that are often responsible for cardiac arrhythmias. Quinidine dextroisomer of antimalarial alkaloid quinidine increases PR and QT intervals and tends to broaden QRS complex. Changes in the shape of T wave may be seen reflecting effect on repolarization. Mechanism of action of class 1B antiarrhythmic drugs, also known as membrane stabilizing agents. The drugs coming under this class are lidocaine and mexiletine. The most prominent cardiac action of lidocaine is suppression of automaticity in ectopic foci. Mechanism of action of lidocaine. Lidocaine mainly acts by blocking inactivated sodium channel more than that of open state. In addition to the sodium channel blockade, lidocaine and mexiletine shorten phase 3 of repolarization and decrease the duration of the action potential, whereas lidocaine has minimal effect on normal ECG. Class 1C antiarrhythmic agents, also known as membrane stabilizing agents. The drugs coming under this class are flecainide and propafenone. They are the most potent sodium channel blockers with more prominent action on open state and the longest recovery times. They markedly delay conduction, prolong PR interval, broaden QRS complex, but have variable effect on the action potential duration. Flecainide suppresses phase zero upstroke in Purkinje and myocardial fibers. This causes marked slowing of the conduction in all cardiac tissues with a minor effect on the duration of the action potential and refractoriness. Flecainide also blocks potassium channels, leading to increased action potential duration, even more so than propafenone. Propafenone blocks sodium channels. Propafenone considerably depresses impulse transmission and has profound effect on his Purkinje as well as accessory pathway conduction. Mechanism of action of class 3 antiarrhythmic drugs, also known as membrane stabilizing agents. The drugs coming under this class are amiodarone and dronedarone. Class 3 agents block potassium channels and thus diminish the outward potassium current during repolarization of cardiac cells. These agents act by prolonging the duration of action potential without altering phase zero of rapid depolarization. They do not alter the resting membrane potential. They mainly act by prolonging the action potential duration or APD and QT interval. They preferably blocks inactivated state of sodium channel. They partially inhibits myocardial calcium channels and has a non-competitive beta-adrenergic blocking property and therefore can alter thyroid function. These agents mainly act by binding with potassium channel and inhibiting the efflux of potassium ions. That is, they mainly alter phase 3 of rapid repolarization. They also increase the refractory period, that is, the time period between the opening and closing of the channels, that results in the suppression of automaticity in ectopic pacemakers responsible for the arrhythmias. Synthesis of disopyramide. Disopyramide is synthesized from 2-phenyl acetonitrile and 2-chloropyridine in the presence of sodamide, whereby HCl is eliminated and a derivative known as 2-phenyl 2-pyridinyl acetonitrile is formed. This derivative, known as 2-phenyl 2-pyridinyl acetonitrile, further reacts with N2-chloroethyl NN-diisopropylamine, whereby further HCl is eliminated and it forms derivative second. Derivative second further reacts with sulfuric acid to form disopyramide. Cardiac glycosides. Cardiac glycosides are primarily used for the treatment of congestive heart failure. Congestive heart failure is a condition in which heart is unable to pump the blood efficiently at a rate that meets the needs of the metabolizing tissues. Classification of the drugs used in congestive heart failure. The drugs used for the treatment of congestive heart failure can be classified into following types. First one is cardiac glycosides. Examples are digitoxin and digoxin. Second one is endothelin receptor antagonist. Examples are bosentan and tizosantan. Third class is beta-1 adrenoceptor agonist. Example is dobutamine. And fourth class is phosphodiesterase inhibitors. Examples are amrinone and milrinone. Endothelin receptor antagonists. The structures of the drugs coming under the class of endothelin receptor antagonists such as bosentan and tizosantan are shown in the figure above. Phosphodiesterase inhibitors. The structure of the medicines or drugs coming under the class of phosphodiesterase inhibitors are amrinone and milrinone. The structures of amrinone and milrinone are shown. Beta-1 adrenoceptor agonist. The structure of the drug dobutamine, coming under the class of beta-1 adrenoceptor agonist, is shown as follows. Cardiac glycosides or cardiotonics are the drugs that exert a positive inotropic effect on the heart. Positive inotropic effect on the heart means they act by increasing the cardiac output or by increasing the force of contraction of the heart. Cardiac glycosides are mainly used for the treatment of CHF, that is congestive heart failure. Mechanism of action of cardiac glycosides. Cardiac glycosides act by inhibiting the enzyme known as sodium-potassium ATPase enzyme. Sodium-potassium ATPase enzyme is responsible for maintaining the unequal concentration of sodium and potassium ions across the cell membrane. That is, the higher concentration of sodium ions is outside the cell membrane, whereas the higher concentration of potassium ions is inside the cell membrane. Inhibition of sodium-potassium ATPase enzyme by means of cardiac glycosides such as digitoxin and digoxin causes increased intracellular concentration of sodium ions inside the cell. This in turn causes inhibition of another exchange system known as sodium-calcium exchange system. Due to the inhibition of sodium-calcium exchange system, less calcium goes outside of the cell, and this in turn causes increased concentration of calcium inside the cell. This increased concentration of calcium inside the cell causes activation of contractile proteins actin and myosin, which interact with each other and causes contraction. SAR of cardiac glycosides. Cardiac glycosides are having steroidal nucleus. This steroidal nucleus can be numbered as follows: first position, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th and 17th position. At third position, sugar moiety is attached. Sugar moiety at third position of the steroidal nucleus improves pharmacodynamic and pharmacokinetic properties of cardiac glycosides. Sugars incorporated at the third position makes the drug more rapidly absorbed, more widely distributed and rapidly metabolized as well as rapidly excreted. So in this way, sugar moiety attached at third position increases the or improves the pharmacokinetic properties of the drugs. Also, at third position, sugar moiety increases the pharmacodynamics of the drug. Pharmacodynamics means sugar moiety at third position improves, yes, shows rapid onset of action by forming a stable complex with sodium potassium ATPase enzyme. The sugar moiety at third position is called as glycone part, and this glycone portion at third position may contain 3 to 4 monosaccharide or sugar molecules that are linked in series. Sugars that are commonly found in cardiac glycosides are the deoxy sugars such as digitoxose sugar, samarose sugar and thibitose sugar. Replacement of sugar moieties with N2 containing side chains gives potent analogues of digitalis. Example, N4-amino N-butyl 3-amino-acetyl derivative of strophanthodin has about 600 times greater affinity towards sodium-potassium ATPase enzyme. Now at 17th position, lactone ring is present, and this lactone ring increases the activity of the drug. Lactone ring can be of two types: 5-membered lactone ring and 6-membered lactone ring. 5-membered lactone ring when present, then it is called as cardinoloids, and 6-membered lactone ring when present, then it is known as bufadienolides. Lactone ring is having double bond. Reduction of this double bond causes decrease in the activity of cardiac glycosides. The compound having CH double bond CH single bond CH, double bond CH side chain also exhibit activity at C17 position. But if the conjugation system at C17 position that is at side chain is extended further, like CH, double bond CH, single bond CH, double bond CH, single bond CH, double bond CH, then it abolishes the activity. So we can say at 17th position, the conjugation system up to 3 to 4 carbon atom increases the activity, and beyond that, extension of conjugation decreases the activity. From the lactone part of the cardiac glycosides, the drug binds with the enzyme sodium potassium ATPase and causes its inhibition through hydrogen bonding. Mechanism of action of endothelin receptor antagonist. Endothelin is a 21 amino acid peptide produced by the vascular endothelium. Endothelin is a potent vasoconstrictor that binds to two kinds of endothelin receptors, ETA receptors and ETB receptors present on the vascular blood vessels and smooth muscles. ETA receptors are GQ protein coupled receptors, and binding of endothelin, that is ET1, to ETA receptor causes stimulation of an enzyme known as phospholipase C enzyme. Phospholipase C enzyme causes hydrolysis or conversion of phosphatidylinositol 4,5-bisphosphate, that is PIP2, into IP3, that is inositol 1,4,5-triphosphate, and DAG, that is diacyl glycerol. Increased concentration of IP3 and DAG causes increased concentration of calcium inside the cell due to the release of calcium from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. This increased concentration of calcium causes activation of contractile proteins, actin and myosin, which interact with each other and causes contraction. Now, ETB receptors. When endothelin or ET1 binds with ETB receptors, then it causes release of nitric oxide. This nitric oxide causes stimulation of enzyme guanyl cyclase. Guanyl cyclase causes conversion of GTP into cyclic GMP. This increases the intracellular level of cyclic GMP. This cyclic GMP causes relaxation. Now, mechanism of action of endothelin receptor antagonist. Endothelin receptor antagonist act by binding with the receptors ETA receptors or ETB receptors and by preventing their action. These are the references. Thank you.